Silent Hill Downpour is the 8th game in the well-established survival horror series, Silent Hill. It's a game that feels very familiar to fans, but yet it attempts to take the series in a new direction, despite having some noticeable flaws. You'll play as the main protagonist, Murphy Pendleton, and without giving away too much of the story, Murphy has been incarcerated and he's currently in the process of being transferred to another prison, but the bus crashes conveniently somewhere close to Silent Hill. From there, you'll uncover the reason as to why Murphy is locked up and some of the haunting issues that he's actually dealing with. The story's pretty entertaining and it's engaging, and it's fun to actually see how things connect throughout the game. Just like other Silent Hill games, the focus is mainly on exploration and puzzle solving. You'll explore some environments with creepy atmosphere, but unfortunately, this game isn't as scary as some of the other Silent Hill games. Don't get me wrong, I did find myself screaming out loud at certain encounters, but for the most part, it's not as thrilling as previous Silent Hill titles. The puzzle solving is really lighthearted. Sometimes you'll come across some puzzles that require a little bit of thinking, but for the most part, all you have to do is explore the environments to try to find a clue to actually solve a puzzle. It's the same thing that we've seen throughout other Silent Hill games. One of the biggest problems that I have with Silent Hill Downpour is definitely the combat. The combat could use a lot more work. This time around, there's a big emphasis on melee combat where you can go around environments and pick up items or weapons such as like bricks, shovels, knives. There's even some guns scattered throughout these environments, and you can use those against your enemies. Now, after you use these weapons for a certain amount of time, they'll begin to deteriorate and eventually they'll break, and that will add some definite tension and stress to the situation, and that's all well and fine. The problem lies with the actual combat itself. The controls are just clunky and they're very prehistoric. It's just so frustrating to actually fight these enemies, which you also have the option of not fighting them. You can definitely run away from them. That's fine, but you'll come across some enemies that you will have to take down, and it's just so frustrating to do. Now, there is a lock-on system, so you can target your enemies, but that doesn't even work well, especially when you're trying to fight multiple enemies at once. Silent Hill Downpour does sport some new features. For the first time, you'll be able to actually make decisions with certain events that occur throughout the game. So you'll have the opportunity to make either a good decision or a bad decision, and that will eventually affect your ending. Now, this is a Silent Hill game, so you guys probably already know there are multiple endings. There are also side quests that you can do. Now, all of these are optional, but I do recommend you doing them because they're very interesting and they're fun to do. And if you're into the story, then you'll want to do these side quests because it gives you more story elements. Graphically, the game looks great. I mean, you'll notice some texture pop-ins every now and again, but once that all smooths out, everything is nicely detailed. To go along with the nice looking graphics, the sound effects totally enhance the experience. The character designs are outstanding, but the monster designs aren't that great, and there aren't even a lot of monsters that you'll encounter throughout this game, so that's a little unfortunate. One of the most annoying problems with Silent Hill Downpour is the frame rate. The frame rate drops considerably and it causes the game to lag. I mean, it'll just chug along, and this is so frustrating, especially when you come across enemies. When you're in the middle of fighting an enemy and the frame rate just starts to drop, it makes it more frustrating to play.
What the hell?
So overall, I think Silent Hill Downpour is a good game. It's definitely not the best game in the Silent Hill series, but it's not the worst game either. I actually really like the direction that this series is going in. I mean, it has an interesting story, they added side quests into the game, and overall, the psychological thrilling experience is totally worth it. But sadly, the technical issues and the broken combat might leave a bad taste in your mouth. I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll check you next time.
Run!